What's up, guys? It's Bax, and today I wanted to do something. People have asked me this in the past, and we're gonna bring we're today I'm gonna single-handedly bring back the trend of tier lists. Okay. People ask me all the time about 20 bombs and what legends are easier or harder to get 20 bombs on, and I wanted to make a tier list specifically about getting 20 bombs. So it will focus on nothing but pub stomping and being able to aggressively get a 20 bomb, because that's basically what you have to do. So I'm gonna talk about each legend in that state of mind of pushing for a 20 bomb. So abilities don't come into play as much in some ways for some legends, and that's how I'm gonna look at this tier list. So it might be a little bit longer because I'm gonna give my reasoning for each legend and their difficulty. I have a 20 bomb on half the legends. I've got a 20 bomb on half the legends. Um, so some of them will be just me talking about it. I haven't done it personally, either because I just haven't gotten it because I wasn't able to get it on that legend. I'm not good enough on the legend, or I haven't really put in time on the legend, so I haven't really had a chance to get it. So to start it off, I just put Wraith at the top because she gets her own. She's the easiest legend in the game to get a 20 bomb on. We've seen that for forever. She, especially before, maybe not as much now. And there's an argument I would even have to myself that Horizon is equal to Wraith. But I think that, like, I'm going to put Horizon a little bit lower because she's newer, so people still are learning her. But in general, these two are probably the easiest legends to get a 20 bomb on in the game right now. Wraith has low profile. I don't think, or Horizon doesn't. Horizon needs it, but she doesn't have it. So her abilities are all really good for actively fighting. When you're rushing around going for a 20 bomb, Horizon and Wraith can actively use their abilities into combat. And they will be there actively fighting while their abilities are going off. That is normally something that sets apart legends for how difficult or how easy it is to get a 20 bomb on them. So Horizon, her Q, she can Q into places, get away really easily. Same with Wraith. The portal, Wraith can move her team, around. And Horizon, her ultimate, the black hole, it's really good for zoning people out of an area and collecting them if you just want to nade spam them. But she's small. Horizon is small. She's got a very small hitbox, but she doesn't have low profile. So you can survive a lot if you have good movement. I would say Horizon is like the top of S tier. If I made another one for S plus, she would go to S plus, but I'm just gonna keep it simple with 5. And you know what? I think we're just gonna go through this list. Bangalore. As far as difficulty of getting it, even me, man, trying to think about this right now, it's kind of tough. I haven't really given it much thought because I wanted to think about everything I was gonna say while this was recording. So Bangalore, I think I would put her in A. And there are going to be a lot of people kind of in the middle. The reason being, her ultimate is not that great for aggressing. Her ultimate is a lot better for defensively playing. Now you can. A good Bangalore would know how to aggress with an ultimate. I used to main Bangalore back in main her in season 0, season 1 while I was playing around with being a caustic main. And she was a really good legend. I mean, even now she's kind of more of a medium hitbox, but she's not gigantic by any means, and she's not small. But she doesn't have low profile, which is good, because if they gave that to her, it would absolutely decimate her. But she's a smaller hitbox legend. Now, a trend moving through this, in general, it's easier to get a 20 bomb on legends that have a smaller hitbox, regardless of low profile. The smaller the hitbox and the better your movement, the easier it is to get a 20 bomb on that legend. But her smokes can come in handy sometimes. You see a lot more bloodhounds running around now, so the smokes are more null and they don't really matter as much. But her passive is amazing for playing aggressively. I mean, just look at the Bangalore god himself, Shiv. You see that man play. When you get shot at, man, when Bangalore used to be faster too. But Bangalore is definitely just like middle. She's not insanely difficult, and she's not really easy. She's just kind of in the middle to me. Her abilities also, just like Horizon and Wraith, are good in fights. You can use them during fights. Passive, obviously, that will kick off during a fight. So you have to know how to control the speed when you're getting shot at, because you're not really in control of that. Her ultimate, again, if you're going strictly for 20 bombs, you would probably use I think that ultimate actually is how I got my 20 bomb on Caustic, because I was running with Slayer at the time, Slayer, Slane, and Reap, and we were about to get third partied, and Slayer just threw an ultimate and stopped them. So obviously that's not about her specifically for getting a 20 bomb, but it could be if you're about to get third partied and you just cut them off while you recoup from a fight you just had, because if you're going for a 20 bomb and you're 1v3ing all these teams, chances are you're going to get chewed up a little bit while you're fighting them. So you get some time to sit there and heal, and you can use her ult, but she's not super easy, and she's not, it's not really hard. Bloodhound, I think Bloodhound's a bit bigger. I'm going to put Bloodhound in B, because it's not excruciatingly difficult, but it's not very simple either, because yeah, the ultimate has a really nice speed boost for you, and all of the abilities, again, just like the other ones, are all really good for actively fighting in combat. You can use your Q, if you have your ult up, you can be queuing constantly in the middle of a fight. It's very quick, and you know where people are going to be, so you can peek corners, but then again, they know where you are, and the ult is so damn loud, people, like a good player, will hear you running up and know where you're coming from. But Bloodhound doesn't have, it's definitely bigger than Bangalore, so it's a bit bigger of a hitbox, and that's the thing that I was talking about, that is important. Bloodhound also, the passive tracking people, it's sometimes easier to find people, running around, just when you're going from squad to squad. So I think Bloodhound is not, it's not really easy, but it's not super hard. Bloodhound is kind of just, I would say B tier for sure, because it was a lot easier to get a 20 bomb. It would be a lot easier to get a 20 bomb on these legends, in my opinion, than Bloodhound, especially because of Bloodhound's size, and Bloodhound has a big ass head, so it's really easy to get headshotted. I remember Tiger talking about that all the time. That's what got him killed a lot, is just he would get headshot consistently. We got Caustic, kind of fitting, I guess. He goes in the C tier. Caustic is one of the hardest legends, if not the hardest legend in the game to get a 20 bomb on, simply because of his size. It is imperative when you're going for a 20 bomb that you're just bum rushing around the whole time. You want to be moving from squad to squad, and you don't want there to be any downtime between the squads. And when you're playing as Caustic, if you're 1v3ing people and your team isn't really helping you get the 20 bomb that well, you're going to get shot all of the time. Now that you have Fortified, it's a lot easier, but you're still going to get shot, and you will have to spend time healing a lot more than these other legends. You see Wraith a lot of times, even sometimes Horizon, where they'll 1v3 a team and take minimal damage, if any, if the enemy team they're fighting doesn't have good aim, because they're so small, and it's a lot easier to dodge and, weave between the rounds compared to Caustic. I would argue Caustic is the hardest legend in the game to get a 20 bomb on. I would still say that, just because of his size. And again, the combat effectiveness when you're fighting in the middle of fights, yeah, traps can help you stop a third party if you need to, stall. But when you are stalling, you are not getting kills, and you are not, aggressing more people, and you're sitting there healing. So in that time, it might be like for each fight, 30 seconds, maybe a minute it takes you to fight somebody. Over time, over all these teams you have to wipe, other teams are killing other teams on the other parts of the map. And that happens for every legend, right? But these other top legends, they can just be moving and moving and moving, getting shot less. Whereas Caustic, he's just going to constantly be having to, hide and heal himself. And then rotating in the open, you have an easier chance of just getting shot. So I think Caustic is the hardest legend in the game to get a 20 bomb on. And I'm going to skip Crypto and go to Gibraltar, because I think Gibraltar is in the same boat as Caustic. I would say Gibraltar is a bit easier than Caustic to get a 20 bomb on, but he's got a giant hitbox. He does have that nice gun shield, and he has a nice dome that he can use to stop incoming enemy fire. His ultimate is really good for stopping third parties, or you could just get kills with it. But his hitbox, you're a target. If you're not using the gun shield effectively, then you're going to be taking a lot more extra damage. And I think that because of their hitbox size, I've been saying this for a long time, Caustic and Gibraltar are the two hardest legends. I think Caustic is a bit harder to get a 20 bomb on, but these are the two hardest legends simply because of their hitbox size. And if you can kind of see descending, sure, a lot of the abilities might have something to do with it, but it's mainly hitbox size. Like, as you go down, you get bigger hitboxes. And I think that matters a lot, because getting shot slows you down, and you have to heal, and you have to look for more meds, and there's just a constant attrition happening to you when you're pushing for a 20 bomb. And it affects Caustic and Gibraltar, I think, more than any other legend in the game. So we'll go to Crypto now. I would say Crypto, because of his hitbox, it's going to go in A tier as far as difficulty, because if you're going for a 20 bomb on Crypto, you're probably really not going to use his drone. You're not going to be droning, because you have to be going from fight to fight and killing people. So you might be able to get a cheeky EMP off here. They are really good, Crypto, you know? But when I almost got my 20 bomb, shouts out to Brother Enoch for fucking killing me when I had 17 kills. When I was getting it on him, I don't think I used my drone once. I was just rushing with Reap and Slayer, and we were just rushing from squad to squad, getting all of the kills. So his difficulty, he's not insanely high, because he is a I could have made a tier for this, but he's like a no ability legend. You're not going to be using his abilities when you're pushing for a 20 bomb, if at all. Maybe you would have a chance to, but in the way the game plays, at least in my lobbies, everyone dies so fast, you wouldn't have time. That little bit of time, taking out your drone, flying it in, EMPing people, then you going in there, other teams might kill them, your teammates could kill them. There's just a whole... You can't rely on it. It's too finicky. It's built way more for ranked and very solid team play. And when you're pubbing and you're just trying to rush people, you're not really going to get much out of his abilities. But small hitbox, doesn't have low profile. If you have good movement on him, you can slay out. So I would say kind of just in the middle. Not super hard, not really easy either. Lifeline. Lifeline's going to go in S tier. Lifeline is an S tier because of her hitbox. She does have low profile, but her hitbox is so small that if you have good movement, you can really dodge people. And you know, having a little bit of a heal while you're repairing your armor, you can use her drone. If your teammates are getting knocked, you can easily just pick them back up, even in the middle of a fight. You can use the cover to make plays. You can... There's just a lot to do. And also, Lifeline's really good at helping people get 20 bombs. Let alone getting them herself. When I've helped people get 20 bombs, I normally play Lifeline, because when they get knocked, I can run up to them, throw a res out, drop my shield in the res shield. I'll drop my armor, so the minute the person that's trying to get armor or trying to get the 20 bomb, they can hop up, instantly grab that armor, and go back to fighting. So she has kind of like a dual specialty here, because she's good at helping people get 20 bombs as well as getting them herself. I mean, shout out to Cam. When I've gotten a lot of 20 bombs, Cam was there, and she's always Lifeline, and she saved my life so many times to I was able to get a high kill game or a 20 bomb because I got knocked and she just beelined it to me, picked my ass up. They can't do anything about it, and boom, I'm ready to go. So Lifeline is S tier along with Horizon, because her hitbox, her movement's really good, and her abilities can come in handy. The care package for 20 bombs, I don't really think you'd get much use out of it, because again, you're just rushing everywhere, right? Maybe in the middle of a fight, if you throw it down correctly, if you're a good Lifeline, you could throw it down, end a fight, run over to it, grab some stuff in it, and then you move on. But I would say she's S tier, because I do think it's easier to get one on Lifeline than Bangalore and all these guys. But still, I think Wraith is easier than Lifeline, because, you know, Wraith is Wraith. But Lifeline's got a good hitbox. She's got decent abilities for in the middle of combat. So, you know, it makes her pretty easy to get a 20 bomb on. Loba, I don't have one on Loba, and I'm about to start pushing her, but I would put her in the same category mentally when I'm thinking about how to drop a 20 bomb on these characters. Loba has a nice passive for finding loot early game. If you know, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not terrible. You can find armor a little bit easier. You can find good items a little bit easier. But her Q, in the middle of fighting, you can use it to get out, but you can't really use it to get in, because that would probably get you killed. So your ultimate basically useless when you're going for a 20 bomb. Now, it's not completely useless. You can throw it down for a quick armor swap. You can get infinite ammo out of it, essentially. So it's not completely and utterly useless, but like with how much you have to just be rotating and running around when you're trying to get a 20 bomb, I would see myself, like if I drop the 20 bomb on Loba, I probably will use her ultimate sparingly. I would probably use it if I was in dire straits. If I had just wiped a squad, it would be faster to just loot their boxes than to throw down an ult. Wait for it to pop up. Let all these other people know you're there and you're recuperating, if they didn't already know from the fire. So I would put her in the middle. It's not insanely difficult, but it's not insanely easy either. It's just middle ground. I would say about the same as Crypto and Bangalore. Your ability usage would be minimal, but you'd still use it a little bit. Mirage. A lot of these legend guys you're going to see, they're going to go to A. They're all kind of tied. A good Mirage player can really use his Q and his ult to their advantage. Being able to res other teammates and become invisible is kind of negligent, but you can use it. I don't even think that was the right word, but still. You can use it, and the Qs can bamboozle people. The ultimate can help you get out of a sticky situation or help you get a kill. The reses are nice for, reviving people after a fight. You can maybe even use it to trick a team that's aggressing you to just go invisible for a second and then pop out and fight them. But, when I got my 20 bomb on Mirage, it had a lot to do with my team helping me and not as much to do with the abilities that I was using. Because I'm just aggressing so much. You're normally not going to wipe a squad because you used a good Q on Mirage. It's good to help you fight one person most of the time. By the time you're fighting the second and the third person, your Q isn't even up, and the other people already know who the real Mirage is, and they're shooting at you. So, Mirage is, again, it's not insanely difficult, but it's not insanely easy either. Hitbox, along with Loba, Crypto, and Bangalore, all about the same. No low profile. So if you have good movement, all these legends are going to basically move the same for you. And it makes it, it makes it pretty easy. Now, Octane, he's S tier. For 20 bombs, man, pubbing. Octane, talking about weak legends lately, a lot of people have been saying, like, Octane's not that weak. Octane isn't that weak. He's weak in ranked because he doesn't really bring much to the team. If you try to jump pad somewhere in a ranked game, you're going to get destroyed. It's not really worth it. But going for 20 bombs, he has speed. That's his name. And he has a small little hitbox with no low profile. I do not think they should give him low profile, at least until they make his abilities a little bit better. You heal. Your health just heals by itself. So you can be rushing from team to team, pop a bat, and if you have half HP, you can still beeline it into another squad because your health will just be refreshing as you run in or regenerating as you run in. So as far as 20 bombs go, Octane is a really good legend for getting a 20 bomb on. If you know how to, be super aggressive and play him correctly and use his speed, his Q to your advantage, Octane is an easy legend to get a 20 bomb on. Again, low or small hitbox. Qs you use during combat. You could use the ultimate to even get yourself into a certain place, but you got to be careful about it so you don't get beamed out of the sky. But Octane, really easy legend to get a 20 bomb on. Now, Pathfinder. Used to be S tier. Used to be easy. Since they've kind of just been nerfing the man, and they gave him low profile, which he still has, which he doesn't need, he's just A. He's not excruciatingly difficult to get. You know what? I'm going to put him B. I'm going to put him with Bloodhound because of the low profile. If he didn't have low profile, A. If they hadn't nerfed his grapple so much, S. Each nerf brought him down, in my opinion. Getting a 20 bomb on Pathy is no longer a simple feat. The hitbox is kind of like Bloodhound's, except he's got low profile. So it's probably even harder than Bloodhound to get a 20 bomb on Pathfinder. The grapple is great, and the zipline is great. So, don't let it discourage you. It's still possible. But it's not super easy anymore because you're just a fridge running around and you can get absolutely beamed by everybody. But it's still not as hard as Caustic and Gibraltar because of his mobility. But because of his hitbox size, he gets put lower. He would definitely be up here with all these legends if they hadn't nerfed him so much. For 20 bombs specifically. His passive being able to scan you're not really ever going to do that if you're going for a 20 bomb, because that's too much time wasted not killing people. So I think he's a B tier. Some of you guys might disagree on that one, and that's fine. But I do think he's a B tier legend because I don't know, man. It's just his mobility's great, but you only get it every so often, and he's a damn fridge, and he just gets beamed. So I would say he's B. He's a B tier. Rampart. This is kind of tough to me because her abilities rely solely on you setting up defensive positions. And if you aren't able to set them up while also, like, you're going to kill people so quickly again in 20 bombs, you're just rushing. You're not really going to have a chance to set things up. You're probably not really going to use a Sheila. Your fences and your walls are only going to be so useful while you're just bum rushing team after team. You'd have to be really good at Rampart to use her effectively while you're pushing for a 20 bomb. So I'm not sure if she should go into B or A. Because she's got a small hitbox. And if you have good movement on Rampart, you can make plays. But I don't think she's as difficult as Bloodhound or Pathfinder. I think she's just going to get lumped in the mix of just in the middle. Because she's not as hard as Caustic or Gibraltar, simply because of her hitbox. But I don't think she's as hard as Bloodhound or Pathfinder. And she's more of a legend, again, I think less of a ability legend. You're going to ignore her abilities for the most part if you're going for 20 bombs. You are going to just be aggressing people the whole game. Sheila takes too long to set up, and like in the time it takes you to set up Sheila and start using it, you could just be killing the squad. So I don't think Sheila's that great. The walls could be useful in a moment-to-moment situation, but you're not really going to be able to set up a fortress in the middle of a fight most of the time if you are going for a 20 bomb. So I would say she's just clumped in the middle in A. She doesn't have low profile. She's got a decently small hitbox. She's able to maneuver around a good amount. I do not think she's insanely easy, but I don't think she's that hard. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I would definitely say she's about A. Now, Watson. We're down to the last two. Watson is probably one of the worst, if not the worst, pub characters to play when you're playing aggressively. And I'll tell you why. All of her abilities have to do with you being defensive and sitting in a spot. She's perfect for ranked. She used to be, at least. Maybe some of the nerfs to her brought her down a little bit. But she used to be amazing for ranked. And pubs, she's always been weak because you are just pushing and the fences don't really come into play that much when you are, going for kills. Her ultimate can be nice maybe, but you have to use it moment to moment. And when you're going to fight squad after squad after squad, maybe if you're getting third partied, Watson could be good, but she's not S tier for it. I don't think she's as hard as Bloodhound or Pathfinder simply because of her hitbox. If you are in the mindset of 20 bomb pushing, you're not really using abilities. But then again, I think maybe she needs to go in A, because I think she's middle of the ground, man. She's small. She has low profile, I think. So you can have really good movement on Watson, but you're not really going to use her abilities that often. And I think that is what really makes it. That's what really sets her apart. She's literally a no ability legend for the most part. You might use her ultimate. Maybe you could set up some fences, but like compared to Wraith, Horizon, Lifeline, Octane, even all these legends, less so Crypto, but you'll be using her abilities less more than likely, unless you need to heal, which is kind of like Caustic. But even then with Caustic, you have a way bigger hitbox, so people will shoot you a lot easier compared to Watson. So I would say Watson is like a floating between A and B, I would say, depending on how well you play her. I'm going to put her in A, but I think it just really depends. She's very weak for getting high kill games in pubs. Like, that's not what she was designed to do. So I'll leave her in A, but she's one of the harder legends, like, towards the bottom of how difficult it is to drop a 20 bomb on her. Revenant. This is probably going to be the hardest one for me to figure out. I have some of the least amount of playtime on Revenant. I was never that good at him. I know he can be meta in ranked, and he's got really good mobility with just being able to climb really fast. His Q for getting kills, you see so many of these other legends that are really good because of their abilities. If you can throw a good Q on a Wraith, you can kill her. You can isolate and kill a Wraith, and she won't be able to Q anymore. You can isolate and kill a Pathfinder, a Horizon. They won't be able to use their Q. So Revenant is a pretty strong pub stomper for 20 bombs. But I don't think it's low as B or C. I would say A. Because he's got a small hitbox. Don't know if he has low profile or not. Doesn't matter. He's got a small hitbox. If you have good movement, you can dodge a lot of stuff. His passive is really good for climbing up. If people are hiding in high ground, you can easily aggress them, fall back. Especially with his ultimate. The ultimate is kind of iffy for me. This is where I don't know. Because I don't play him that much. So I'm a little bit less, wary of it. But sending yourself into fight with, not that much health, you can easily get sent back, and then other people can kill the people you did damage to, or your team can kill people. So I'm not too sure if I put him in B or A either. I think I could have made another tier. To put them in. I would say, I think. You know what? I would do that. I'm not going to do it now, but if there was another tier in the middle of A and B, I would put Watson and Revenant in it. Just because of their abilities and how you would have to use them in order to play. But yeah, I mean, this is where I have it. And you might say, like, well, there's so many people in A. Yeah, I mean, it's really just comes down to the hitbox, man. It comes down to how aggressively you can play and how well you can use the nuance of each legend to help you get those kills. Again, this is just my opinion. I have a 20 bomb on most of the characters I have one on Wraith, Lifeline, and Octane. I have one on Bangalore, Mirage, and Bloodhound, Pathfinder, Gibraltar, and Caustic. So the hardest ones, I would say I have a 20 bomb on them, and I have some on the easiest legends, and I have some in the middle. So it really just comes down to how well you play the legend. Don't let this discourage you if you're trying to get one on any of these legends. But I would just say this is my opinion on just like a descending order of who is easiest, who is hardest, and then kind of who falls in the middle. They're all still very doable. You just have to mold how you're playing around which legend you are attempting to get a 20 bomb on at the time. But I think this about sums it up. Hopefully this was, helpful in some way to you guys. I know it's a long video. Damn, we're almost at 28 minutes. So, all right. I'm gonna leave it on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Really excited to try to get one on our girl Loba here. And, try to finish up the rest of them that I need one on as well. And I look forward to it. I think it'll be fun. A fun learning process. And, once I get a 20 bomb on every legend, I'll revisit this and maybe I'll have changed my mind. Maybe some of the buffs or nerfs to legends in that time frame will change my mind as well. So I'm really excited to, see where that kind of is moving towards. But I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys are doing well.